Hey there, everybody. Coach Patrick here, Endurance Nation, with a special race weekend bulletin for Ironman Coeur d'Alene 2015. So going online, checking out the airwaves and seeing what's happening. Coeur d'Alene is going to be hot. Coeur d'Alene has gone from like it's 45, 50 degrees and not so nice to ride your bike outside to it's going to be 107 degrees on race day. There's a couple things for you to think about, which is just sort of atypical about a race. But because you're going to be out there, there are a few things you can do, hopefully to sort of do a little bit of damage control and still have a good day. So number one, just stepping back for a second, thinking along the lines of our 4 keys of race execution and having a big picture, macro level focus. If it's going to be 107 degrees out there, the concept of racing really kind of gets put on the side. You're going from racing to thinking more about survival. We're about an 80-20 percentage, 80% survival, 20% racing. In many ways, racing will be survival. If you survive, that is technically racing on the day. So I really strongly encourage those of you who are watching this video, who are showing up to Coeur d'Alene with a time goal, or the idea that you're going to kind of bury yourself, that you readjust that just given the heat, because you could really hurt yourself or do some serious damage, if not to you, then to perhaps someone else. At the end of the day, this is just a game. All right, so diving into the specifics. The water is still going to be cold in Coeur d'Alene, but it's going to be warmer outside. So the nice part is the transition period from cold water to cold air will be reduced significantly. So it does bring down the cost of the swim, although it doesn't eliminate the fact that the swim will be cold. So you still have to think about that in the back of your head. Okay. On the bike and nutrition, because it's going to get so hot across the bulk of the day, your number one goal on the bike is to start drinking and drink early. You've got your race nutrition, you've been practicing it, and you want to hit it early. I personally use the nutrition on the course, the Gatorade Endurance, and so while I would normally drink 2 bottles an hour on race day, because it's going to be a hot day, I will drink 3 bottles in that first hour and continue drinking 3 bottles until I actually burp some of it back up. I've actually got too much fluid in my system. Okay, I'm trying to compensate for the fluid that I lost in swim, the fluid I lost before the swim, nervous, peeing or whatever I was doing, and then making sure that I exit the bike net even with what I started with in terms of fluid. That's really hard to do, and you have to start early. Okay, I cannot stress it enough. Even if it's cool, you have to start early, because you can consume, you can drink, you can eat on the bike, ideally peeing 2 times. You can do all that, but once you get off the bike and start running, gigs up. Like, you can only take in so much food and fluid and actually move forward running. Even with a walking effort, it takes a lot of focus and determination to be able to consume a lot of fluid and still move, ambulate, if you will, whatever that speed may be for you by the end of the day. So really, really, really got to hit that nutrition on the bike. I'd have extra salt, external salt, pills, tabs, whatever you can. Make sure you've got a lot of sodium in them. I plan on taking a couple of those, making sure you get at least 1,000 milligrams an hour across all of your sources of sodium. And if you start to, get a sloshy feeling or stuff backing up in your stomach, take some salts. You got to keep drinking, because it's going to come back and get you. I'm not saying, just time out here, time out from Coach Patrick. I'm not saying you need to start hammering fluids now, so by the time you show up on race day, you're going to be hyponatremic. I don't want you to flood your body with fluids. I'm saying on race day, because you're exerting and losing through sweat, you've got to take in more fluids during the day. Okay, do your normal pre-race hydration, 120 ounces of fluid a day kind of thing to keep things rolling. All right, so a key thing for you would be that transition from the bike to the run, because remember, you're biking along at 16, 18, 20 miles an hour, and you get off and you run. And when you're biking 18 miles an hour and it's 107 degrees, it feels like it's 89. A ball of me, 89. When you get off, all of a sudden it's going to feel like 107 degrees, and your body will essentially go into shock. So the last 2 aid stations on the bike, I'd recommend you have a water bottle cage on your bike just for water. You're going to be putting all over yourself, on your arm coolers, on your back, on your femoral artery, the groin area, and then the same thing in the transitions on the run. Those first couple aid stations, don't get sprayed with a hose, because you want to keep your shoes as dry as you can. But bend over, dump water on your head, dump water on your body, sponges on your face, carrying the ice with you as long as you can. Hold on to that ice. All of that really makes a big difference for you. And you've got to do that those first couple aid stations just to reduce. We just want your body to accumulate all that heat. Like, if your core body temperature goes up, there's literally no way to get rid of it without just stopping. And again, what happens is core body temperature goes up, heart rate goes up. When the heart rate goes up higher than normal than what you're used to seeing, it becomes hard to eat and drink, but you're still losing all those fluids through exercise, and as a result, your personal finish line is going to come a lot sooner than the race finish line. Okay? If you can be smart, you can be patient, you can start yourself properly with the hydration on the bike, ride a very smart bike, manage the core body temperature transition between the two, and keep your heart rates where you've seen them in training. You've seen 150 on the run in training in your long runs, and you're out there in Coeur d'Alene running, and you see 175. I'm here to tell you that's not going to work. You've got to slow down until you get it close to that range. Generally you can see 5 to 7 beats higher than what you've seen in training, but anything more than that, you're really rolling the dice and putting yourself in a bad place. Coeur d'Alene is a beautiful course. You can still have a great day and compete within the relative constraints of what it means to be, percentage age group and so on. But if you go out there and attempt to ignore the fact that it's going to be 107 degrees, as someone who's raced in Kona 7 times, I'll tell you, ignoring the heat is the biggest mistake you could possibly make. There is no mercy. There is no turnaround once you've reached that breaking point. You stop sweating or you're just exhausted. Your body essentially shuts down, okay? Those of you who will be out there for a long time, definitely still recommend a light long sleeve shirt, technical t-shirt of some kind, from another race, because you will get cool when the sun goes down, not because it's going to get ridiculously cool, but just because the sun's going to be off you and it's going to feel a lot cooler there in the mountains, all right? Good luck to everybody. I look forward to seeing your race reports in the forums or messages online, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Thanks, folks. Take care. It's Coach Patrick from Endurance Nation. See you guys online.